All right, the Washington Commanders are getting the news that they need to hear. They're also getting some news that's a little bit shaky, and we're going to talk about all of that in this video and also talk about the need to get good right away and just kind of a crazy trade idea that's recently popped up. So we're going to talk about all these different things in this video, but we are not going to bury the lead. The big news is Jayden Daniels. Here's the question. Jayden Daniels didn't look like Jayden Daniels of his rookie year in the first couple games before he went down with an injury. There was a bunch of people talking about, oh, amazing what happens when you have tape. I don't want to hear any of that crap. All right. I think he's a great quarterback. I think he's going to continue to be a great quarterback. My question is how much confidence do you have in him coming back? Do you think he had enough time to get that knee healed up right so that he'll be back to his normal self? Will he have to rely more on his arm than he ever has before? And if so, how important is that to have McLaurin back? But my question to you in the beginning of this video is, what is your confidence level? Give me a 1 to 10. Give me something on Jayden Daniels. I want to know where you're at as a fan base. Because if you're new to this channel, or if you're not new to this channel, you know. But if you're new, what you know is that my buddy Chris started this a couple years back, maybe 3 years back. We're Lions fans. We love talking about teams that the national football media kind of ignores because we feel as Lions fans, we're one of them. We've been one of them for a really, really long time. So we wanted to throw out love for other teams who find themselves in the same boat. And the Commanders, I think that's there. Look, you don't have an easy rest of the way, but you're getting help. So first, let's talk about Jayden Daniels. He's back. He's coming back. I'm excited to hear about that. He has been medically cleared to play on Sunday. If you are a fantasy football person of any kind, all of a sudden that little questionable, that out, that probable, none of it's there. He's in. All right. He is in. He is ready to play. Will that be able to spark and ignite this offense just a little bit, which it so desperately needs a win? All right. And this is not an easy game. You're going against a Chargers team that is absolutely licking their wounds. All right. They're licking their wounds. They're coming off a very bad loss. All right, they're coming off a bad loss to a Giants team that they should not have lost to. And if you know anything about Jim Harbaugh, you know that Jim Harbaugh does not lose back-to-back games. And he just doesn't. In his career, he's never done that. So going across the country, getting your quarterback back, there is never a game you needed him more. All right, you hope that you could get that win at Atlanta, but then after this, you have Chicago at home. You go to Dallas. You can build a little bit of momentum before a really tough 3-game stretch where you're at Kansas City, a home against Seattle, and at home against my Detroit Lions. But again, there are some areas in this schedule that, you can be all right. You got New York again. You got Dallas a couple times. You have Miami, right? Like there are teams that you can absolutely beat in this schedule, but overall, this is what it's like. When you win a division or you get second in a division, you have a tougher schedule and you are in a difficult division. So here's what we're going to talk about in this video. Daniels is back. McLaurin might be. It's really hard to get any kind of concrete evidence on what it's going to be with McLaurin at this point. A week ago, Dan Quinn said he was week to week. Really, as I'm recording this on Thursday, I don't have the practice report yet as far as injuries go. If he was a limited participant, he could be trending toward playing, which would be really, really healthy. But at the same time, when you're talking soft tissue injuries, don't rush him back. It is not worth getting him re-hurt against the Chargers. Get him healthy. Let him play next Monday night against the Bears. Let him play against Dallas. Get these victories. And also, this is what we see. Players who aren't full participants in the offseason get soft tissue injuries. That's what happens. All right? It is significantly more possible then. All right, we're going to go in a minute into the standings and what you need to do and into the schedule. But first, there's this rumor out there. All right? There's talk about how the NFC is stronger this year. It is. There's talk about how the Commanders are dealing with some injury problems. They are. But this move that they're hoping for is not coming off of an injury. This move that they're trying to make is at a position that they got themselves into this. They traded Brian Robinson, and they said, you know what? He's not the guy. And you know what? Maybe he's not the guy. Like, he's barely being used in San Francisco so far, to the point where you're just like, Shanahan, please, you are going to absolutely kill. You're going to kill our boy Christian McCaffrey. All right? And I want him for fantasy football playoffs. I took a chance on him this year because he was hurt all last year, so I figured he'd be healthy this year. Stop giving him the ball 30 times a game. All right? He's a 29-year-old running back. You're going to kill him. Anyways, with all that being said, the Commanders are in trade rumors with the Titans for running back Tony Pollard. This is very interesting to me. Tony Pollard is a guy who's gone back to back years getting 1,000 yards. I would struggle seeing them give up more draft capital, especially after they traded for Debo. They traded for Tunsil, right? So they need a running back, though. Tony Pollard could be helpful. And if they're not asking for much, fine. And it looks like the Titans, they're not looking good this year. So they're not looking good. So I do think there is a world where this can be a possibility. I think Chris Rodriguez has done well when given opportunities. McNichols is a dependable vet. I understand that. I am confused about Bill, if I can be honest. I'm confused about Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt because he's kind of being used as a change of pace rookie. And we've seen this in the NFL where rookies need to have like that 1 month, almost like red shirt to begin their rookie seasons. And he might need even more time because, you know, the whole fiasco with his eligibility and all that kind of stuff. So he really didn't play last year in college, but he looked good right away. Like, he looked good in game 1, and then they just stopped using him. So I'm really confused as to what happened there because he seems to be the most talented, but they don't seem to want to use him. I don't know what's going on there, but I don't think Pollard's necessarily that much better than anything you have here. So I'm not about it. Now, with all that being said, as you look at the schedule here, or as you look at the standings, and you know, you're down there, what you see is that, I mean, obviously the Eagles are a powerhouse right now. We hate to admit it, but it is true. All right. The Giants and the Cowboys, you know, I don't know. But there are a lot of good teams that are going to end the year with a good record. The Rams are going to keep winning. The Seahawks are going to keep winning. The 49ers' entire team's going to be hurt every year, and they're still going to win 9 or 10 games, right? The Falcons are going to keep winning. The Bucs are going to keep winning. The Vikings are most likely going to keep winning. The Packers and the Lions are definitely going to keep winning. So if you feel like, and you're not out of it yet, you're not out of it in the NFC East, but it feels like the Eagles are going to be a really tough team to catch this year. Just get them in the playoffs, right? But you're talking Lions, Packers, right? Vikings, Bucs, Falcons, Niners, Seahawks, Rams. 3 of those teams are gone, but you're battling those other 5 teams for 3 spots in the playoffs because 7 make it. You have the 4 division winners and then the other 3. And so what I just want to say is, like, the Commanders, like, they're not out of it by any stretch at all. Like, they're still absolutely ready to go. But this isn't like years past where you might be able to put the gas pedal on late. No, you need to have the gas pedal down from the beginning of the year. And so if they can go out and get a win against the Chargers in LA, great win. That could really set the tone as their team continues to get healthier because they're getting healthier. All right. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.